This week, right here on Charger Bulletin News. We remember the lives lost 24 years ago on 9/11. A full recap of the VMA's biggest moments, and what Russia's largest aerial assault on Ukraine yet means for the US. All that and more right here on Charger Bulletin News.
Welcome to Charger Bulletin News. I'm Paris Taylor.
And I'm Hania Paral. Let's get right into this week's stories.
We begin with breaking news. Conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was fatally shot yesterday during an event at Utah Valley University. Authorities say Kirk was speaking on campus when a single shot was fired from a nearby academic building. The bullet from a high-caliber firearm struck him in the neck. Shortly after being rushed to a nearby hospital, Kirk, aged 31, was pronounced dead. At first, a subject was taken into custody by Utah authorities, but was later released. A manhunt is underway for a person who was described as wearing all dark clothing. Kirk, a co-founder of Turning Point USA, leaves behind a wife and 2 children.
This morning, UNH held its annual September 11th Remembrance Ceremony. Students, faculty, and staff gathered to reflect, lay wreaths, and hear words of remembrance, honoring both the victims and the first responders of that day. The ceremony serves as a reminder of the strength of our community and the importance of never forgetting.
A stabbing incident that occurred back in August is resurfacing as a national headline. 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was fatally stabbed on a public train in North Carolina. As shown in the surveillance video, Zarutska walks onto the train and sits in front of suspect DeCarlos Brown Jr. Moments later, Brown reveals a pocket knife, stands up, and begins stabbing Zarutska. She soon died after. Department of Justice officials have called the stabbing a terrorist attack. Brown, who was previously arrested 14 times, faces federal charges and could be eligible for the death penalty.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order Friday changing the title of Department of Defense to Department of War. President Trump announced the move during a press conference in the Oval Office, saying, "We won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything before that and in between, and then we decided to go woke, and we changed the name to Department of Defense." This new title for the department is only a secondary title, while the Department of Defense remains primary. Only Congress can establish or rename federal departments. However, some lawmakers are looking to codify the new name. Rebranding began immediately after the signing, with the Department of Defense's X account changing its username to Department of War by the afternoon, while also displaying a different seal as its avatar and directing users to war.gov instead of the usual site defense.gov. The name change has faced opposition from many, including others in the Republican Party. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell slammed the decision, saying, "If we call it the Department of War, we'd better equip the military to actually prevent and win wars." He continued by saying, "Peace through strength requires investment, not just rebranding."
Now, let's head over to Sweden Patterson and see what's going on in the world of sports.
Thanks, Paris. We start this week's report on the gridiron. Chargers football lost 48-14 on the road against Mercyhurst University Saturday. While it was a difficult Division I game for the Chargers, A.J. Duffy led the offense with 220 total yards, including a passing and rushing touchdown. Defensive back Brody Williams led the defense with a team-high 11 tackles. Football travels to the University at Albany to take on the Great Danes Saturday at 7 p.m. Good luck, Chargers. Men's soccer drew 0-0 in their game against Syracuse University Monday night. Goalkeeper Alessandro Bazzini made a career high of 8 saves in this tough game. With a draw, the Chargers are unbeaten in 4 games with a 2-0-2 record. The guys are home this Saturday night against George Washington University. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. On Tuesday, women's volleyball traveled to Providence College, where they fell 3-0 in straight sets. Cole Fukaiger registered 7 kills and Lauren McKellar recorded 6 blocks. Next up for the ladies, a 2,200-mile trip to New Mexico State University to take on the Aggies Friday at 6 p.m. We'll end volleyball with congratulations to sophomore libero Peyton Malinowski, who earned NEC's Defensive Player of the Week honors. In field hockey, the Chargers scored their first Division I goal of the season, but sadly lost against LaSalle 9-1 last Friday. Sophomore Julia Cooper will forever be in the record books as Chargers' first Division I goal scorer. Field hockey will hope to end their 3-game skid when they play their first home game Friday night against Sacred Heart at 6 p.m. Let's show up and show out. Women's soccer had a tough battle against Marist Tuesday night, losing 3-1. After Marist scored twice, Emma Mitchell put her head on the ball off of a corner kick, scoring the program's first Division I goal. Our Chargers are back at the Zolan Stadium Sunday at 1 p.m. when they take on UMass Lowell. We expect to see you there. Moving to the NFL, after an exciting week 1 with fantastic finishes, week 2 kickoff Thursday night with Washington Commanders heading to Green Bay. And if you're a soccer fan, ticket registrations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup has started. Head to fifa.com/tickets to be registered in a lottery system to purchase future tickets to next summer's tournament here in North America. That wraps up our sports segment. Now let's switch gears to see what's making headlines in entertainment this week with Michael Crowley.
Thanks, Sweden. Our entertainment update starts with a Disney star we all grew up with. Actress Debbie Ryan and her husband, Josh Dunn, drummer of 21 Pilots, are expecting their first child. The couple shared on Instagram a carousel of photos, including a sweet baby bump reveal, sonogram, and a pair of tiny checkered vans. Their caption, a playful Dunn and Dunn +1. Ryan, best known for her Disney Channel days on Jessie, and Dunn, who spent years rocking arenas around the world, first began dating in 2013 after an engagement in New Zealand. They tied the knot on New Year's Eve in 2019 with a cozy ceremony in Austin, Texas. Congratulations to Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn. MTV's Video Music Awards did not disappoint Sunday night. If you missed it, don't worry, I've got all the highlights here everyone's been talking about. Lady Gaga was the top winner, taking home 4 awards. She then left UBS Arena in Long Island and headed straight to Madison Square Garden to perform a show that same night. Sabrina Carpenter and Ariana Grande tied for the second most awards won with 3 each. Mariah Carey received the bestowed Video Vanguard Award, her first ever Moon Man trophy. Hip-hop legend Busta Rhymes received the Rock the Bells Visionary Award that celebrates groundbreaking visual and lyrical contributions to hip-hop. Sabrina Carpenter, Somber, Lady Gaga, and Tate McRae delivered jaw-dropping performances. The most memorable of the night was definitely Tate McRae's performance, delivering impressive choreo to her hit song Sports Car. I mean, clearly McRae knows how to own the stage. Who was your favorite performance of the night? Hey DC fans, exciting news for y'all. James Gunn has officially announced the next major installment in his DC cinematic universe. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the next Superman movie titled Man of Tomorrow, and it's slated to soar into theaters on July 9th of 2027. The new film isn't being called Superman 2, but Gunn has confirmed that Superman remains a central figure, appearing as a part of a broader ensemble of returning heroes and storylines. Man of Tomorrow continues the story including in the 2025 Superman. However, the narrative will expand rather than simply follow. David Cornsweet will return as Clark Kent, aka Superman, and Nicholas Hoult will reprise his role as Lex Luthor. Production is lined up to begin in the summer of 2026 and is planned for a mid-2027 release. The West Point Alumni Group has canceled an award ceremony honoring actor and long-standing veteran advocate Tom Hanks. Back in May, West Point publicly announced that Hanks would receive the 2025 Sylvanus Thayer Award, which is given to an American citizen who exemplifies their motto, duty, honor, and country. An email from the group's president explained that the ceremony's cancellation was in light of keeping the Academy's focus on preparing future cadets. Though the celebration has been called off, Hanks will still receive the award in private. A cause of death has been revealed for the Annabelle doll handler, Dan Rivera. Rivera was found dead in his hotel room in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, while on tour with the doll. Francis Dutrow, Adams County coroner, said Mr. Rivera had a known history of cardiac issues, which were consistent with the findings. Dutrow also confirmed the doll wasn't present during the time of his passing. That's all I got for you this week. We'll see you next week with all things entertainment. Back to you.
To more serious news, at least 4 civilians were killed, including a mother and her infant, and dozens were wounded after Russia launched its largest aerial assault on Ukraine this past Sunday. A barrage of over 800 drones and missiles struck across multiple regions of Ukraine, including a direct hit on a government building in Kyiv. Bombings continued 2 days later on the village of Yarova in Donetsk Oblast. That strike killed at least 24 civilians and injured 19 more. President Zelensky condemned the attack as terrorism, urging world leaders to impose stronger sanctions and provide urgent air defense aid. Since June, Russia has launched nearly 12,000 drones and over 400 missiles against civilian and infrastructure targets. Leaders across the US and Europe condemned the attacks with calls for heightened sanctions and reinforced air defenses. President Zelensky reiterated Ukraine's urgent plea for support from the world powers.
Coming up, breaking news after authorities discover a body inside a popular singer's car. But first, let's see what's going on around campus. Nina DiMonato has the scoop on student life.
Thank you, Hania. University officials are urging campus residents to lock their cars in the result of an attempted theft at Atwood Place. University of New Haven Public Safety says a suspect arrived at Atwood Place in a stolen car and attempted to steal another unsuccessfully. Officials say the same person may also be linked to an attempted theft just 2 days earlier in West Haven, where police recovered a stolen car. In both cases, the suspect broke a window and tried to climb inside. If you see any suspicious activity, reach out to UPD at 203-932-7014 or through the LiveSafe app. Stay safe, Chargers. The university's IDEA Council has released findings from their 2025 Campus Climate Survey on Diversity and Inclusion. If you remember, back in February, an email was sent campus-wide inviting students, faculty, and staff to participate. According to the report, perceptions of diversity are high among the campus student community, with over 87% who strongly or moderately agree that the university encourages appreciation for a multicultural environment. 86% of students feel that the university promotes the celebration of cultural differences. Although the response rate among students and employees fell in comparison to last year, IDEA Council Co-Chair Dr. Danielle Cooper says students can use the survey's information to push for changes that help build a campus community where they belong and can build strong competencies. In addition, Dr. Cooper says students should ask questions, be curious, and arm yourselves with information. Seek challenges that sharpen you and push you out of your comfort zones. You can read the full report, which includes more survey results, recommendations, and action items by going to mycharger.newhaven.edu/DEIAB. This fall, Charger Bulletin presents postcards from Italy from student life reporter Will Whalen. This week, Will visits a textile factory in Prato that's rich in history. Let's see what's going on over there.
Prato City, the capital of the province of Prato in the region of Tuscany, Italy. The city lies along the Bisenzio River and is a mere 8 miles northwest of Florence. Textile is the main export of this city, and the industry is over 1,000 years old. Aside from Florence, Prato is the second most populated city in Tuscany with almost 200,000 residents. Prato also has a strong Italian culture, but not just Italians live here. It's home to an estimated 30,000 Chinese immigrants who play a significant role in the culture. On top of all that, it's home to 98 University of New Haven students right now, one of whom is Will Whalen. Ciao, io sono Will Whalen. I'm standing here outside of the Magnolfi Cafe, leaning up against this beautiful statue. See that over there? That's the first church ever dedicated to St. Francis. See those yellow buildings next to it? Property of the University of New Haven. All around us is art, history, and culture, and we're gonna go see some. So I'm standing here outside of Museo del Tessuto, the textile museum in Prato. This industry has existed for hundreds of years and has now expanded into over 7,000 companies in the area. Unfortunately, I wasn't supposed to record in the museum, so a lot of the good footage I got I won't be posting out of respect. These are just some photos I was able to get. This large carpet, titled Mersatal, was made with hand-knotted wool and an Izmir knot. The carpet is the flagship article of Lanificio Angelo Peyron Wool Mill, and it took 5 to 10 days' work per square meter. This was another interesting piece. A military blanket created circa 1930. Blankets and other military equipment just like this from World War II is what allowed this industry to boom in Prato. The most awe-inspiring piece of fabric in this museum was an authentic replica of John Paul II's robes from the Jubilee year 2000. The textile companies in Prato played a huge part in dressing not only the Pope, but all his cardinals, which were decked out in white robes. These will only be on display for this Jubilee year, so if it sparks your interest, catch a plane now, or you'll have to wait 25 years.
Thanks, Will. For more in-depth Italy content, Charger Bulletin now has a section with extended videos on our YouTube page. Make sure to check it out and tune in next week for Will's next adventure. That's all for Student Life. Back to you, Paris.
Thanks, Nina. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is warning the public about additional recalls of frozen shrimp being sold and distributed in multiple states over possible radioactive contamination. Cesium-137 or C-137 is a radioactive isotope that can cause side effects including burns, acute radiation, and in some cases, death. In August, Walmart and Kroger recalled brands from Indonesian distributor PT Bahari Makmur Sejati or BMS Foods. The expanded recall includes products from Seattle-based Aquastar, Florida-based Beaver Street Fisheries, and Southwind Foods. Take a look at this list. If any of these brands are in your or your family's freezers, the FDA recommends you throw them out.
New Haven Public Schools issued a new phone policy for the school year. Students will now put their phones in yonder pouches at the beginning of each school day. These pouches block access from their phone and can only be opened by a special magnet placed at building exits or by administrators. Senior Genesis Guillen Samaniego says in the classroom, it means more focus. Teachers don't need to compete with notifications and students are more engaged in discussions. Teachers say the pouches have been beneficial socially for the students. Parents, however, have mixed reviews. Some state it is good to reduce their child's exposure to phones during academic hours, while others question the safety when in an emergency.
Investigations continue after a dead body was found in the trunk of viral singer David. Authorities in Hollywood Hills discovered the body after receiving reports of a foul odor coming from the impounded Tesla. The woman's body was found dismembered and allegedly wrapped in a unique container. Medical examiners are yet to identify the body. David's real name is David Burke and is known for his viral hits Here With Me and Romantic Homicide. Burke has been on tour since August and has been informed of the discovery. Authorities have not named him as a suspect, and Burke is fully cooperating with detectives while on tour.
Thank you for watching Charger Bulletin News.
If you have a story idea, email us at chargerbulletinnews@newhaven.edu.
Be sure to check out the latest edition of the Charger Bulletin newspaper currently in stands around campus.
Thank you for watching. I'm Paris Taylor.
And I'm Hania Paral. We'll see you next week.